In this video, I will be walking you through every step I took to build this Lego table for my son. And if you decide to build one yourself, hopefully your kiddo loves it as much as my little man does. Check it out. First, I lay out the base plates to mark my initial cuts. I'm using the plates from the Duplo LEGO sets, which are just twice the size of regular Legos. And the plates are 10 and 1/16 inches square, which tells me the total footprint for the plates is going to be 30 and 3/16 inches square. I then rip down the 3/4 inch plywood base to size. Now I can clamp down the base plate and use a marking knife to give me the cut lines for the center hole where the net will go. The track saw is very handy for this cut, and I can then finish off the cut with a pull saw and clean up the corners with a chisel. The trim on this project is all made from maple 1x3s. The table height is going to be 18 inches, and the legs will sit under the plywood base, which tells me the legs will be 17 1/4 inches long. And of the two pieces that make up a single leg, I rip 3/4 of an inch off one of the leg pieces, and finally hit all the sharp edges with a 1/2 inch round over bit. Here's what it's going to look like when it's all glued up, and having ripped down one of the legs 3/4 of an inch, that allows me to keep this symmetrical shape. It's much easier to sand at this point versus after everything is glued up. To avoid nail holes, I'm not using any fasteners on the legs, only Type-On 3. So I take my time to align the pieces and clamp it into place. While the legs dry, I glue up the apron. The outside of the apron measures 31 and 11/16, so I cut my 4 sides to length with outside miters. I align the miter points and lay down some reinforced tape, add a dab of glue, and fold the pieces together. Now I do recommend reinforced tape, as it has much more stretch than just regular painter's tape or packing tape, and it's going to hold the joint tight while the glue dries. The center cutout matches the dimensions, that 10 and 1/16 inch, of the base plate. And this is also going to get trimmed out with the same maple 1x3s. For this inner apron, I'm only doing butt joints, no miters this time, and again simply clamping and gluing everything into place. Now the inner and outer aprons get the same round over that I did on the legs. However, I'm going to leave alone the edge that is butting against the Lego plate. You're going to see more of that in a bit. I considered gluing the apron for a minute, but I figured I had such a tight fit, this would just make a mess, and I didn't want to be dealing with a ton of squeeze out. So instead, I opted for pocket screws. Here you see me dropping the plywood down so that the Lego plate is flush with the apron. You can always keep the plywood flush with the apron and have the Lego plate sit proud, but I thought this was going to be a cleaner look. I drive in some 1 1/4 inch screws into the apron, and after splitting the trim, I quickly learned that 1 inch screws were a much better choice. It really wouldn't be a project without at least some little mistake. And this one was a quick fix, so nobody but myself and my vast YouTube following are even going to know that it's there. I then slide the inner apron into place and secure it the same way with pocket screws. Now the finish I'm using here is Osmo hard wax oil that I already had on hand. And for anyone building along at home, I have this same finish along with all the other tools and materials I use for this project. They're linked in the video description. You can check them out there. I do just 2 coats of the Osmo, And I do like this finish because it's so easy to apply. You simply wipe it on heavy, wipe off the excess, give yourself about 8 hours in between coats. The base plates that I bought came with foam adhesive already attached, but I didn't think this would hold up over time, so one by one I scraped it off. And if you are doing this project yourself, do yourself a favor, buy the plates that don't have foam adhesive attached, and you can move straight into locking these down with construction adhesive. To make sure the plates are all perfectly aligned, I add some Legos at the seams and then keep piling jump on top for compression. And this thing is not going anywhere. All that's left now is attach the legs with 1 1/4 inch screws. And finally, for the Lego pouch, I'm using a laundry bag that I rolled up so it sits at the right height that I want, and it gets pinched into the inner apron again with 1 1/4 inch screws. And with that, this project is a wrap. I had a lot of fun with this one. I was very happy with how it turned out, and the demolition crew was even happier to get his hands on it and start wreaking havoc. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next one.